Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the Mikestand. Um, tonight, of course, today is Monday, September 30th, 2024. Just give me 1 sec. I gotta take care of something real quick. Sorry about this. I'll be right back. All right. So, anyways, today is Monday, September 30th, 2024. So we are actually at the last day of September. So after today, of course, we'll be 3/4 of the way through the year. So I hope everybody is has had a good year thus far. We'll be down to the last quarter of the year tomorrow. I guess since we do have, guess we just lost somebody. But anyways, um, let's see. So we got another 20 seconds here. I guess I'll talk about what's on tap for tonight. So tonight we're gonna go over a couple articles from Bounding into Comics. We're gonna, with October, of course, that's usually the start of the fall release season over in Japan. There are a couple of news articles we're gonna go over involving Shonen Jump. One of them, I guess, is in regards to a movie that's supposed to come out soon. Let's see. Let me just go and so animated film adaptation of a Shonen Jump gag comedy, Me and Roboco, delayed to 2025 to further improve the quality of the film. I wonder what that's all about. As well as a former Shonen Jump editor-in-chief reveals Japanese media being censored due to American content standards. Japan is also badly influenced by that. We're that's what's on tap for tonight. We're going to and just to give you guys a heads up, you might hear some background noise. My family's in the other room watching Monday Night Football, so I'll just figure to give you guys a heads up on that. So all that being said, we're already four minutes into this, so why don't we go ahead and of course, if you guys haven't already, you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream. See if we can get some more people in here to engage, some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe as well. And if anything here we talk about grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. We'll try to answer, and I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. Of course, we'll also have the wrestling wrap up and this day in each history segments later on. So, with all that being said, now, why don't we go ahead and get started? Let me just go ahead and get the article ready here. Alrighty then. So Animated film adaptation of Shonen Jump gag comedy, Me and Roboco, delayed to 2025 to further improve the quality of the film. I wonder what that's supposed to mean. Further improve the quality of the film. I guess we'll find out here. Article by Nerdigans Inc., published September 28th, which was, of course, this past Saturday. So let's go ahead and get into this. If this character is supposed to be Roboco, he looks kind of like a Astro Boy spinoff, I guess. All right, so the comedy queen of knees, upcoming movie, has received not only a new teaser visual, but also an official release date. The bad? The date is now roughly 3 months later than originally planned. Oh boy, okay. The film was initially announced at the end of the June 2023 broadcast of the Me and Roboco anime's 28th episode, Knees and Roboco, when the titular robot took to the sky to protect and exploded, only to return with a giant banner unveiling its production. Following this surprise, line drawings of Roboco and other characters were displayed, along with the announcement for the film's original release date, winter 2024, which would have been coming up here usually the winter release schedule usually comes out like starting in January. So it would have been technically 2025, I guess. Well, 24 to 25, I guess, but usually they don't actually make the releases until January. So, anyways. Fast forward to September 22nd, which was 8 days ago, so a week ago yesterday, basically, and alongside a new teaser visual in which Roboco can be seen taking a page out of One Piece protagonist Monkey D. Luffy's book and going Gear 2, the film's production committee notified fans via the anime's official website, in parentheses as machine translated by Deepel, unparenthesed, that the cinematic adventures had been delayed to April 18, 2025, in order to allow its production team, quote, time to further improve the quality of the film for the enjoyment of a wider audience, unquote. Oh God, I hope for the fans' sake they're not doing what it sounds like they're doing. Don't tell me some SJW sat there and just squawked at them to like change it. Oh, this is too sexualized. This that. Oh God. Anyways, we'll find out more about what's going on moment. But I do need to step away. I think I should turn on lights now. So I'm gonna put on some music for a moment while I prepare the lights. I'll be right back. All right. So, anyways, I'm back. Let's go further down the article here. There's Roboco right there. I wonder if the person made this one is because The design of the robot there seems very similar to Astro Boy. Following the production committee's announcement, Me and Roboco mangaka Shuhei Miyazaki broke the news to fans through his personal Twitter account. I guess it's not the same because I think it was somebody else who did. It wasn't Miyazaki. It was somebody else who did Astro Boy, but maybe this guy worked under the Astro Boy creator or something. Sharing an original illustration of Roboco Tyra sitting in her director's chair and giving out orders with her bullhorn, the mangaka tweeted, quote, "The Me and Roboco movie has been delayed. I apologize to all those who have been looking forward to it, but please wait just a little longer. However, I heard the movie will be Ultra Fighting Miracle Bomber," in brackets here, a reference to the attack of the same name as wielded by Dragon Ball Z in Dragon Ball Z by Ginru Force member Recom, unbracketed. High quality to compensate for the delay. Quote, "It seems to be just as interesting as, in smaller quotes, Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie Mugen Train," unquote, he added. Quote, "So if you want to see Demon Slayer, you should definitely go see Roboco to see if that's true. I promise," unquote. Okay. All right. So that that one went quickly. All right. So let's move on to the next. That one went real quickly. All right. So let's see what else we got here. All right. Ah. All right. So let's see. Here's the next article. Let's see. Former Shonen Jump editor in chief revealed Japanese media being censored due to American content standards. Quote, "Japan is also badly influenced by that." Okay. I wonder if that means that what he's talking about is if, again, I know that Yellow Flash has talked about the idea that some of the American companies are now sitting on some of these Japanese boards to try to make it more appropriate, I guess, is what they'd call it. But article by Spencer McCooley, published September 29th, 2024. So that was as of yesterday. So let's get into this. According to former Shonen Jump editor-in-chief Kazuhiko Torishima, the Japanese video game, manga, and anime industries, recent turns towards censorship are not the result of creators' own voluntary actions, but rather they're being forced to comply with Americans' own puritanical content standards. Yeah, they should tell these SJWs where to go stick it. because many American fans, I think, would rather, they just let the creators be on this one. Torishima, who served as the late Akira Toriyama's editor through the entirety of Dr. Slump and the first half of Dragon Ball before being promoted to the head of Shueisha's premier manga magazine from 1996 to 2001, provided this insight into the ongoing East versus West standards battle while giving an interview to Japanese video game news outlet Denfami, Nico Game Magazine, alongside Dragon Quest creator Yuji Horii. Per a transcript of the conversation's relevant excerpt, provided by fellow Japanese video game news source Game Talk, the machine translated by Google Translate, amidst a general conversation regarding their respective careers, the two esteemed creators were asked by their host, Naz Chris, herself dressed as the hero from Dragon Quest III, about the decision to cover up the female version of the game's warrior and gadabout classes, as well as the male monster wrangler in its upcoming HD 2D remake. If you guys haven't already, if you guys can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage, that'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. So, as we continue on here, continue on with the article here. At the onset of their discussion, Chris turned the group to the topic with an observation that, quote, the costumes were a big topic of discussion, unquote, to which Horii explained, quote, well, there are a lot of restrictions, like you can't be too revealing, unquote. Pressed in turn by his host, quote, I mean, it's fiction, but isn't it fine for you, the protagonist, to go on an adventure in it? Is that wrong? It's a game. It's nonfiction in the virtual experience or of fiction. So I think it should be fun, unquote. So what Ori's arguing here is maybe the reason that they have lesser clothing. That's the one thing. I think that's one of the things that some of these SJWs also kind of forget, particularly in the more adventure, sword and sorcery, fantasy, adventure type games. Actually, having less clothes might be a little bit better, not because of anything sexual involved or anything like that, but because it's more practical. With lesser clothing, you have less that's weighing you down. First off, you obviously have better movement and more flexibility in terms of your movements. You're not as restricted by something that's too form fitting or tight fitting. Horii admitted, quote, I don't know. I really don't know, though. If you reveal too much, the, in brackets, target age group will increase. Or maybe it won't be suitable for all ages, unquote. With Chris still baffled by this logic, as evidenced by her admittance that she, quote, didn't think that at the time, unquote, Torishima interjected to reveal that one of, if not the main factors in the determining of these restrictions was a given production's and small equipment compliance with overseas standards, particularly those of the good old US of A. So again, Sony, some of these SJWs are howling and banging at the moon over this stuff. Quote, compliance is an absolute god, unquote, said the Shonen Jump editor, who greenlit such hits as One Piece, Naruto, and even Yu-Gi-Oh! Quote, there is something like evil in the name of good. It's not like everyone doesn't feel uncomfortable, because not everyone has different ideas about what is good and bad, like clean and dirty. At the root of everything, there are a few things that you absolutely must do, and if you don't do those things, everything else will be fine, right? That doesn't exist, unquote. Yeah, I think, dude, you need to not cater to such a minority, because a lot of it's funny. Fans have been watching anime for 60 years or so, and it's only within the past 5 years here that people really got upset at whether or not something's too revealing. Okay, um, here's an example right here. What I was talking about, Bulma. Look, Bulma again in now, granted, that might be that some people might say that that's a little too revealing, but there's a practical use for that type of outfit too. Again, it gives them more maneuverability, more mobility, and able to and able to fight, and able to run, and all that. Quote, the idea of sex education that comes from religious concepts when the West is America, right? Unquote. He continued. Quote, their idea of compliance is really narrow. When publishing comics over there, you have to separate them by age. If it's a Shonen Jump manga, you can't publish it unless it's 13 years or older. You have to do all the retakes. You have to take out insurance in case of a lawsuit. It's really troublesome. That's why Japan is also badly influenced by that, unquote. Putting a stamp on his colleague's words, Hori ultimately affirmed, quote, you can choose a male or female protagonist, but you can't say that you choose a man or a woman. They are type 1 and type 2. I wonder who on earth would complain if we made them male and female. I don't know. At present, the pair's next related project, Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake, is slated to hit shelves in all its modern audience glory on November 14th. So yeah, it does sound quite a bit like the SJWs have been squawking and howling and banging at the moon again. So, anyways, uh, 24 minutes. Okay, so we still got some time. Let me see if there's anything more here that might be of. All right, yeah. So nothing really there. Actually, let me go find because there is something I wanted to look at. Because I do know that this past Saturday, Uzumaki finally premiered on Toonami. It's something we talked about here before. I know, of course, it and Rick and Morty, the anime, are both airing at English subbed. Um, let's go to the program. Excuse me. Let's see now. So as I said, this past weekend, of course, as I said, Uzumaki premiered on Adult Swim, on Toonami rather. So as of last week, Rick and Morty the anime started at 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific, followed by Uzumaki. Uzumaki Demon Slayer commencing Uzumaki on it at 12:30, 9:30 Pacific. Demon Slayer commencing the Yaiba on at 1:10 Pacific, 1:30, then One Piece, Dragon Ball Z Kai, and then 2 episodes of My Hero Academia. Now, for the month of October here, the Uzumaki episodes are being expanded to 45 minutes. I guess the first episode was 30 minutes, but now being expanded to 45 minutes. Let's see. So at least for the next 3, starting this Saturday, the 5th, and for the next next couple weeks after that, the schedule for Toonami will be at midnight Eastern, 9 Pacific. Rick and Morty the anime, followed by Uzumaki coming on at 12:30, 9:30, airing for 45 minutes. Then at 1:15 a.m. Eastern, 10:15 Pacific, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba at 10:45 Eastern, 10:45 Pacific, 1:45 Eastern, 10:45 Pacific. One Piece, 2:15 2:15 Eastern, 11:15 Pacific. Dragon Ball Z Kai, and then for a full hour, from 2:45 to 3:45 Eastern, 11:45 to 12:45 Pacific. My Hero Academia 2 episodes. However, on the 19th, the block airs off the clock due to 33-minute season finale of Rick and Morty the anime, and 63-minute season finale of Kimetsu no Yaiba. One Piece preempted. The Toonami interstitial airs after Dragon Ball Z Kai, allowing the 2 episodes. So basically, there's going to be a little bit of a funky schedule for the 24th. Or for the 19th rather. So, but I'm guessing that again, Rick and Morty the anime and Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba will be having their season finales on the 19th. So there'll probably be some major shakeups there coming up. So that's at least for those of you who are still watching Toonami at this point. That's more or less what you have to look forward to. Let's see. All right. So, anyways, let's see now. We're not even at the half-minute mark here. Let's see. shall I start the? Let me go see if I can find one more article to go. Let's see if there's another quickie one on maybe one of the other sites before I. And with, of course, tomorrow being with us getting into October tomorrow again, that's the start of the fall release season of the animes over in Japan. So nothing there of real interest. Just, just yeah. All right. So yeah. So basically, would appear that aside from the stories we already covered, there's again, as always, guys. If anything, feel free to always comment under ask questions, either if anything grabs your attention or if something just crosses your mind. Um, I also do know, of course, that Super Friends will be making their Me TV Tunes premiere this Sunday with a special marathon before they're added to the regular lineup during the week. So that's something to look forward to. Let's see now. So as I said earlier, today, of course, is the last day of September. Now, as I've been mentioning over the past week or so, of course, past couple weeks here, we will be making some changes to the Mikestand starting in November. Our last Friday show for the historical comic retrospect will be Friday, October the 25th, and then the last weekend edition episode will be Sunday, October the 27th. Will be of course will be we'll be basically doing we'll still have panel shows, but they just won't be a regular thing, but the regular panel show will come to a close on October 27th. We will be I'll be moving the historical comic retrospect to Sunday nights at 5 p.m. and we'll also be pushing the weeknight broadcast up an hour, so start 1 hour earlier at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern. So basically starting the week of Sunday. So we'll have the last Friday edition of the historical comic retrospect on Friday, October 25th at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Then that following Sunday, the 27th, will be the final edition of the weekend edition. Final episode of the weekend edition at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Then the 5 days that week we'll have the normal niche newscast starting on Friday. Of course, Friday, November 1st, will be the first Friday episode in which we have the Niche Newscast as part of the regular part of the week. And then the following Sunday, on Sunday, November 3rd, we will be starting the Sunday night historical comic retrospective episodes. So that's kind of an update on what's going on. Let's see. Let's see now. Anything else to talk about? Let's see. Casper, the friendly ghost, friendliest ghost. Oh yeah, one other thing about Me TV Tunes as well. Of course, in October here they're having their Scooptober event, in which they'll be highlighting some special programs throughout the month of October. Of course, this Sunday, the 6th, they will be this Sunday the 6th, they'll be doing a special Super Friends marathon, as I mentioned earlier, to kind of get everybody in the mood for Super Friends becoming part of the Me TV Tunes lineup from 8 p.m. Eastern to midnight on Sunday. That'll be 5 to 9. 5 to 9 Pacific, I believe. Actually, no, the 8 to 11 Eastern, 5 to 8 Pacific. So 3 hours. Let's see now. Also, let's see. And then Super Friends will be moving into their regular time spot on MeTV Tunes on Monday, October 7th, 1 week from today, at 1 p.m. Then the following Sunday, on the 12th, they'll be from 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific, to 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern, 2 to 5 Pacific. They'll be having a special Addams Family marathon. And the following Sunday, on the 19th, in that same time slot from 5 to 8 Eastern, 2 to 5 Pacific, it'll be a Funky Phantom marathon. And then on Sunday, October 27th, they'll be having they'll have, of course, the normal Scooby-Doo Sunday specials from 3 to 5 Eastern, 12 to 2 Pacific, and then they'll have a Spintoony takeover from 2 to 5, from 5 to 8 Eastern, 2 to 5 Pacific, followed by the Cartoon All Stars, I believe. So, actually no. And during the 27th, actually, they'll be featuring a couple Halloween specials: Bunnicula the Vampire Bunny, as well as Casper's Haunted Halloween. So stuff to look forward to for October, for the Scooptober event from Me TV Tunes. All right, so now we're like 30, just under the 40-minute mark here. I think right now will be a good time to get ready to move on to the wrestling wrap up here. So we're going to look back over the past weekend. Well, first off, we'll go back to last Thursday to TNA Impact. Talk about what, as they continue to prepare, as they of course continue to prepare for their they continue to prepare for their upcoming Bound for Glory event coming up at the end of the month here. And this past Thursday on TNA Impact, of course, the show opened up with a women's tag team match as TNA Knockouts champion Jordan Grace teamed with NXT's Sol Ruca to take on Rosemary and Wendy Shu. That match ended in a no contest when Tasha Steelz came out to basically attack Jordan Grace and Sol Ruca, only for Masha Slamovich to come out and make the save, furthering the feud between Masha and Tasha. Jonathan Gresham defeated Laredo Kid in a one-on-one match. In a six-man tag match, former three-time TNA World Tag Team Champions ABC Ace Austin and Chris Bay teamed with former X Division champ Zachary Wentz to defeat the threesome of current X Division champ Mike Bailey, Kushida, and Leon Slater. Lei Ying Lee made her debut in TNA, the former Xia Li of WWE's NXT. She defeated Hyan in just over 4 minutes. Heather Reckless continued her winning streak. She defeated Xia Brookside. And then the main event saw in a number one contendership match for the TNA World Title, see who would go on to Bound for Glory to take on Nick Nemeth. Joe Hendry defeated Frankie Azaran. Also on the show, Josh Alexander set up an ambush on Eric Young with his quote unquote new recruits of Sinner and Saint to help him beat down Eric Young, only for Steve Macklin to make the save. So that. So now as they continue, now it was also announced this past week that there were originally some TNA tapings scheduled for Spartanburg, South Carolina, for this past week, the 27th and 28th. Unfortunately, they initially had to postpone them for today and tomorrow because of Hurricane Helena. Only for them to cancel those and reschedule them for down the week. TNA's not sure exactly what they're going to do for Impact as of yet, but they do need to have some stuff to help build for the upcoming Bound for Glory pay-per-view at the end of October. So with that being said, we'll move on to Friday, as on this past Friday, of course, WWE, as they continue to prepare for this Saturday's Bad Blood. Take a look at that. On this past Friday night's SmackDown from the Paycom Center in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, as they continue to build up for the for this weekend's Bad Blood pay-per-view, this Saturday's Bad Blood pay-per-view, in a number one contendership match for the WWE Women's title. Bayley defeated Naomi to earn a shot at Nia Jax at this coming Saturday's Bad Blood pay-per-view. In match 6 of their best of 7 series, Carmelo Hayes defeated Andrade to tie up the score 7-7, or 3-3 rather, 3-3. So Meechin defeated Piper Niven, who had Chelsea Green in her corner. And the main event saw the Bloodline duo of Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa defeat Kevin Owens and Randy Orton in the main event. Now coming up on tonight's tonight's Raw rather. Coming up on tonight's Monday Night Raw. As this will be the go home Raw before Bad Blood. Coming from Evansville, Indiana. Coming from the Ford Center in Evansville and airing on USA Network. The night is set to open up with a last monster standing match between Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman. This feud's been going on for the last month or so, last couple months, between these two big behemoths. Kofi Kingston, the New Day, takes on Chad Gable. Rey Mysterio takes on Xavier Woods. And a six-man tag match, LWO trio of Dragon Lee, Cruz del Toro, and Joaquin Wilde take on the Judgment Day trio of Carlito, JD McDonough, and Dominic Mysterio. So that plus we'll probably be hearing more about this Saturday's Bad Blood. Speaking of which, why don't we go ahead and take a look at what's going to go down this Saturday? What the match is already signed for this Saturday's Bad Blood, which will come to everybody from the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. Be aired on the WWE Network. Liv Morgan is set to defend the Women's World Title against former World Champion Rhea Ripley. And as an added stipulation, the match, Dominic Mysterio will be suspended in a shark cage above the ring, keep him confined. In a Hell in a Cell match, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre look to settle their feud once and for all with this very violent match. As we just stated, Nia Jax will be defending the WWE Women's title against Bayley, former champ Bayley. Finn Balor takes on Damian Priest in a grudge match, and then in a tag team match, Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa of the Bloodline take on WWE and WWE Universal Champion Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns in a tag team match. So with that, and let's talk about AEW for a moment, as they're marching their way towards Wrestle Dream, which is next Saturday. But let's go back to this Saturday and look at Collision, see what all happened on Collision this past Saturday. AEW Collision's Grand Slam from Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York City with your commentators Matt Menard, Ian Riccaboni, and Tony Schiavone. The night opened up with a women's match in a Soraya's Rules match, which is more or less just a hardcore match. Jamie Hayter defeated Saraya in basically a hardcore match. In a Tornado 6-man tag team match, the Learning Tree of Big Bill, Chris Jericho, and Brian Keith defeated the conglomeration of Ring of Honor World Champion Mark Briscoe, former AEW International Champion Orange Cassidy, and Kyle O'Reilly. After the match, of course, Chris Jericho gestured that he wanted to try to get the ring. Being a former Ring of Honor World Champion, he wanted to challenge Mark Briscoe for that title. Brody King defeated Action Andretti in minute 42. in a match that was set up on the previous night's Rampage. Jack Perry successfully retained the TNT title in a match versus Minoru Suzuki via countout, which after the match saw the return of the wrestler Katsuyori Shibata when Perry looked to further punish Minoru Suzuki. Shibata came out to lend his fellow countrymen a hand. In a match of the World Trios titles, the Blackpool Combat Club of Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta, teaming with Pac, retained the World Trios champion over Commander and Private Party. But this feud is not over, as Isaiah Cassidy said that they're coming for the Blackpool Combat Club for what Moxley did to him. In a three-way match to help celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, Hologram defeated Dralistico and Beast Mortos after a brief little heat up between Dralistico and Beast Mortos after the match. Roosh came out, grabbed them both around the neck, and basically said, and basically said, basically kind of got them back together, and the announcers were saying that this is possibly the reunification of Rush's old stable, La Facción Ingobernables, which translates as the ungovernable faction. Of course, we'll want to keep tuned to that, as again, everything's leading up to next Saturday's Wrestle Dream. In a lumberjack strap match, Adam Page defeated Jeff Jarrett, in which you had the lumberjacks, including, of course, Jarrett's fellow stablemates of Satman Singh and Jay Lethal, the Bullet Club Gold of Juice Robinson and the Guns, Dark Order, among others. And then the main event saw in a eliminator match for the Continental title, in which Sammy Guevara challenged Kazuchika Okada for an opportunity to go after the title at a later date. Kazuchika Okada was able to stave off Sammy's challenge there. So therefore, for the immediate future, Sammy Guevara is quote unquote eliminated from contending for the TNT title for at least the immediate future. So now, with all that being said, we got through the wrestling wrap up there. Now it's a good time to, with today being the last day of September 30th, 2024, let's take a look back at this day in Nietzsche history. So let me just review some things here. 98, 2004, and 1974. Okay, so first off, I'm going to head back to 1974. As on this date in 1974, which was 50 years ago, Tatsunoko Productions' Yuri Kupen Kyojotai premiered on, which translates here as Yuri Kupen Rescue Team, better known to American fans as under its Saban Entertainment name of Jungle Tales, premiered on this date back in 1974 on Japanese television. So on this date, 50 years ago today, Yuri Kupin Kyu Jotai, premiered on Japanese television on Fuji TV specifically on this date back in 1974. Now, moving on to the next piece of niche history, we'll move ahead to 1998. On this date in 1998, which was, of course, 26 years ago today. On this date, 26 years ago today, the 25th issue of Blade of the Immortal from Dark Horse's Dark Horse manga imprint went on sale on this date back in 1998. Sold for $2.95 and was 32 pages. On this date back in 1998, 26 years ago today, the 25th issue of Blade of the Immortal went on sale on this date back in 1998. And finally on this date in in 2004, 20 years ago today, on this date 20 years ago today in 2004, Balto 3 Winds of Change was released direct to video on this date back in so Universal Animation Studios Balto 3 Wings of Change was released direct to video on this date back in 2004. The mail in the north used to be delivered by dog sled, but the success of airplane delivery leaves Balto and the other sled dogs feeling neglected. So again, on this date in 2004, 20 years ago today, Balto 3 was released direct to video. So with that, I do thank everybody for being here tonight. Hope everybody enjoyed the show. Of course, we'll be back here tomorrow night with more niche news. Probably with some obviously some results from tonight's Monday Night Raw. So hopefully you all enjoyed the show. And don't forget this Friday, of course, Friday, October 4th, we'll be continuing our look back to comics that went on sale in March of 1940. As we'll be this week, we'll be looking at comics that went on sale from Quality Comics. I'll be joined by Apex from Apex Comics. We'll be looking at, Smash Comics Volume 1, Number 10, as well as Crack Comics Volume 1, Issue 1. Be looking at be introducing you guys to such features as Alias the Spider, Black Condor, Red Torpedo. Maybe we'll be looking at some Doll Man as well, and probably most likely Visible Hood. So with that, I do thank everybody for being here. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. And I will do 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 do. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm strong to the finish when I eat my spinach. Popeye the Sailor Man. All right. So with that, I thank everybody for being here, and I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.